2, 3. This time of day, everything's okay. I take a long look around, I have to say, this time of year, it becomes clear.
Hello, welcome to your friends and neighbors. I'm your host, Willy Jones. We're going to have a very interesting show for everyone today that is in our viewing audience. We have a new organization starting here in Bennington, Vermont, the Bennington Community Theater. And I have three guests with me today. We're going to be talking about what's coming up and how it got started and all that jazz. So I will introduce you to my guests first. I'm going to go down to my right. And I'm going to start with Shay Francis. Hello, Shay.
Hello.
How are you?
I am good.
That's good. And Robert Ebert.
Hello, Willie.
How are you?
I am fine.
That's good. And Marina Calvo.
Hello.
How are you?
Wonderful.
Good. Everybody is in a good.
Yay.
Okay.
Great.
Yes, we're here to talk about the Bennington Community Theater. However, before we do that, I always like to, because it's called Your Friends and Neighbors, just to learn a little bit about our friends and neighbors here. So, Shay, could you just give us like a short bio of your life? Just a very short.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I guess the best way to say is I'm a theater person.
Okay.
Everything I do revolves around theater or show business in itself. I have studied theater ever since a young age. My first production, I was in 4th grade, so I think you're about 9 years old, I believe. And ever since then, I've been just climbing that ladder of all those plays and stuff. And I actually went away to special effects makeup artist school. So I learned all about character designing. Yes, makeup school, but really it was costuming, set design, properties, makeup, just creating a character. So I went to school in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for that. Near there, a little town. And then I came back to my hometown of Bennington, which I've been here my whole life, and I wanted to start a community theater here, and here I am.
So this is your idea?
Well, it was
More or less.
two of us both had an idea.
Well, a bunch
Okay.
of people have had
All right, well,
Right.
let's talk to Robert for a few minutes. Robert, tell
Okay.
us a little bit about yourself, because you're not a Bennington boy.
No, I'm not. I'm not
No.
a Bennington boy. I ain't from around here. Not really from around anywhere. Originally from New Jersey, but in 1970 my family moved to Texas. But I found them again, and I moved down and spent around 40 years down in Texas, first in the Houston area, then in Austin, Texas. Went to University of Texas, but after I graduated from there, I got hired on with the Austin Fire Department and spent around 24 years there. Retired from the fire department, and my wife Melissa and I moved up here to Bennington after I retired about 6 years ago.
Do you have a
We've been here about
Stetson?
6 years. A Stetson? No, I don't.
You don't?
I
You're,
have a
oh,
firefighting
Texas.
helmet, but that's the closest
You
thing.
don't have a Stetson?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, I did have a Stetson,
Oh, okay.
but I don't have it anymore.
I used to watch Dallas wearing a Stetson.
Dallas, that's exactly what Texas is
That's
like.
what
If
I
you
did.
watch
I-
Dallas, you know exactly what the whole
I
state
had a
is like.
denim
Yeah.
Stetson. I'd put it on and sit there and watch
Oh
Dallas.
my goodness, I have
I don't even know
I have
where
a
it is
vision of
now.
that in my head now that I will probably
well,
never
you
get
want
out
to see
again.
what else I was wearing.
Yeah, no,
Just
we-
Stetson's enough.
We've talked about that before.
That's
you know,
enough. So,
So that's it.
okay. And Marina,
Yes.
tell us about yourself a little bit.
Great. Well, I was born and raised in Bennington.
Good.
I probably will never leave because I love my hometown.
Okay,
And I
good
love
for you.
really
Yay.
cultivating a community, and I think that's what Bennington Community Theater is for.
Mhm.
I am a server at Allegro on Main Street.
Oh,
I have a very big family.
eating there.
Allegro. Oh,
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh, jeez.
beautiful
Yeah,
food.
it's good.
And I'm an actor.
And an actor. Okay.
Oh, good.
Do you prefer to be called an actor rather than an actress?
I
know
do.
that's a funny
I
thing
wonder about
nowadays.
that.
People,
I
Oh,
do.
A
Yeah.
lot of
Right.
a lot of people say no. We're all actors. There's
Yeah.
no-
It's not
Right.
really. I guess I just like the word better. It's not really because I'm like, oh, gender.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
but I do prefer actor.
Yeah.
Okay. And getting back to Shay, because I know Shay can't spend the whole hour with us here.
No.
First, I have to talk to, and this show won't be on for another couple weeks, but I need to talk to Shay about the production of Hairspray that was
Oh,
just done
yeah.
at the high school. It was excellent, and it was such
Very
a
good.
fun evening. And you were in charge of the costumes, the makeup, and the hair, right?
Yes,
The wigs.
That's correct, the wigs.
Which was the hardest to do?
Actually, I would say costumes is usually always a little bit more difficult than hair and makeup. Like I had mentioned before, I went to school for
Right.
hair and makeup. I also went to the CDC, and I'm a licensed cosmetologist in the state of Vermont. So hair and makeup is kind of it's very comfortable for me. So, there's never really anything I can't do with that. Whereas costumes, working with different body types is
Oh, yeah.
always a struggle. No one ever is, the perfect size that right off the rack, you know what I mean? So it's always alterations and always.
That's what I always say to costume designer
Yeah.
at Oldcastle. At Oldcastle. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you got to deal with this, but and they say don't worry about it.
I mean, we're
worry
used
about
to
it.
It's
Where did
happens.
those wigs come from?
Actually, we ordered those wigs from a couple different companies. I got them all on Amazon. So,
Okay.
And of course they came in, nice and flat in a package,
Oh.
matted.
Oh, so
Yeah, so you're like, okay, well this looks like a rat's nest, so that's not going on someone's head. So we had to fluff them and sculpt them and bring them to life.
they were fluffed and sculpted, all
Oh,
right.
they were.
Yeah. Now, did you do
Yeah.
that yourself, or did you have some help doing that?
I ran the crew, but actually I have 3 interns that are my girls, and that's all I call them is my girls, and I could not do any production without them. I have Tiffany Martin, Imani Davis, and Megan Hurley, and actually Sarah Henderson helped us with this production too because it was so big, and she's studying. Her and Megan are both studying at the CDC for cosmetology as well.
Oh, okay.
So I brought in my hair girls because I needed some
Okay.
help.
Okay.
And Imani actually graduated from there too, and I did too. So it's kind of funny that we all graduated from the same hair school, which is fun. But they helped me with everything. Like I couldn't have done it.
Now, and Hairspray still has some more life left to it
Yes,
because there was 2 different schools doing this production. And where were the other students from?
they are from Cedar Grove High School, which is in New Jersey.
Wow.
And this is a concert that they do, I believe, every other year at the high school now. Marina and I actually we're best friends, and we were in the chamber singers in high school, and they are the first group. Now the Da Capos have added in, but they were the first group to travel. So what we do is the group, they come here, and we do a performance, and then our kids go there, and they do a performance. So there's 2 performances of it, but what's cool is whatever school they're at, they are the leads, and then
Right.
they change the backups,
Right.
which is kind of cool because
Right.
there's
Yeah.
always 2 of them, and it's always fun to meet the other Edna or the other Tracy. They loved that. They were so excited.
And what was that school?
Cedar Grove High School.
Okay, now they arrived that morning,
Yep.
the Friday that
10
you did the
a.m.
show at 10 a.m. You rehearsed, did a show at 7, and I saw the bus out there. Those kids were all driving right back.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Wow.
I believe they may have stayed in a hotel somewhere, but then the next morning they were out
Oh,
of there real
okay.
quick.
I mean, that was a long day for everybody.
Yeah,
Very long day.
the high school kids our Mount Anthony kids got there at 8:30 a.m. and obviously
Stayed
Lynn
all
and
day.
Spencer and
It
everybody.
was a good thing it was an in-service day.
Yeah,
Worked
definitely.
out perfectly. Maybe
Oh,
they
it was.
Yeah, maybe they figured
scheduled
that
it
out.
around that. Yeah. Well, it was wonderful, and it was a
Thank you.
wonderful evening.
had an
I know
awesome
Robert had the opportunity to
Yeah.
see it. Marina, did you
I
get
had
to
to
see
work.
it?
Oh.
Well, hey, listen, if you had to work at Allegra,
Oh, jeez.
one of the oh God, such a great place.
Well,
to
she
eat.
got to see all of the costumes because, of course, our house, because we live together,
Oh, okay.
turned into a costume room and a wig
Oh,
shop.
okay.
I'm
Our
still
kitchen-
finding feathers in the weirdest places.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
always
feathers.
feathers and hair
Feathers.
everywhere. So she got to see the costumes and the hair and makeup, but
Well,
unfortunately not the actual singing.
Again, it was a wonderful evening, and when I saw Frances the other first day when I met her, I had to ask her. People probably can't see from. I don't know if they'll be able to see it or not, but she has this wonderful tattoo on her arm, and I said, is that music for anything in particular? And she said yes. And what is it?
It is I'll Be Seeing You by Billie Holiday.
Oh
By
my
Billie
gosh.
Holiday.
Wow.
Yep.
Wonderful, Billie Holiday. Have you listened to Audra McDonald's?
No.
It's called Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill.
Okay, no.
You know Audra McDonald, right?
I know the name,
Oh
yes.
my God,
Yes.
she's a wonderful singer. Her show was so good. She won the Tony, I think, 2 years ago. For
Okay.
it. Maybe it was last year. All right, so
Okay.
let's talk to Robert for a minute.
Oh my goodness.
Who got this going first, you or Shay? Who got in touch with who first?
Well, it was a little bit of a collective
Yeah.
jungle, like,
Different people kind of put us together. Okay,
Oh, okay.
so all right, I'll tell you the genesis of all of this.
Okay.
Because we kind of approached it from different directions. As far as I was concerned, it was Sally Sugarman. You know Sally.
I know
Okay,
Sally.
all that's bad comes from Sally.
This-
And she's been on me for some reason to try to start a community theater in Bennington. We've done a couple of little things over the last 6 years,
Sure.
so and I think she saw me as an easy mark. And I said no and no and no for months, and then she, wears me down. So
Right.
I thought, okay, I'll go ahead and try. And I've never done anything like this, so this is pretty new. So you start reaching out to people, tell people what you want to try to do, what you're interested in. Little groups start to form. People are interested, and do you know Miriam Silver?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
She, oh my God, if you want to call
yeah.
somebody a dame, she's
right,
a dame.
right.
Oh,
And she
man.
was in that showcase last night. She was great. So anyway,
She's great. I know I didn't get to see it.
reached out to her. I don't know who gave me her name, and then through her met her boy Dan
Right.
Silver, who's an actor, and Dan gave me Shay's name and said, "Oh, there's this. I know this woman worked on a production in Dorset, and she's been talking about community theater." So Shay and I met at the cafe here downtown and put our heads together and said, okay, we're both interested in trying to create a community theater here in Bennington. At the time, I thought this was a brand new idea, but there's nothing new under the sun. I think Janet Groom had told me maybe 15 or 20 years ago, something called Green Mountain
Yeah,
Community
there
Theater.
was, yeah.
They had one show, and that was kind of the beginning and the end of it. So who knows? Hopefully, what we're doing is creating a permanent organization. So Shay and I sat down, and she told me a couple of projects that she wanted to do this year, including Big Bad Wolf, which hopefully we're going to talk about, and then a haunted house that she had done last year to benefit the Bennington Cancer Crusaders.
Which was very successful.
It was
It
very
was very
successful,
successful.
and she wants to do that again this year. For me, this all started with the notion of doing a play. Let's do a community theater play. And I don't know if your viewers or whatever know Christine Decker
I think a
over at
lot
Old
of people
Castle.
will. She's been on quite a bit. with
Right.
me.
She's on board to direct because she was interested in that.
Uh-huh.
We have since decided to do Arsenic and Old Laces, our big production, our big 3-act, full-blown.
Right.
Hey,
Wonderful
so,
old chestnut, but God, it
so
still
when we were
works.
talking, and so okay, we've got all these ideas. We thought, well, let's put everything we're doing under the banner of Bennington Community Theater. Let's just call everything that. And so what started a couple of months ago, at least for me, as just kind of an idea, has coalesced into an entire season of productions. We have four things scheduled so far this year. Big Bad Wolf, May 29th, maybe too late for people watching, is the first of the 4. So we're calling all of these Bennington Community Theater, and then hopefully by, say, October, when we do the Haunted House and Arsenic and Old Lace, we will already have established a brand, Bennington Community Theater, and instead of in October having to educate people on just what we are, hopefully some people will at least have heard of us by then and will know.
Right. Yeah, and the best thing, as far as I'm concerned, about a community theater starting in Bennington is the fact that hopefully you're going to get people out to the theater that might not necessarily ever go to the theater,
Right.
or they feel they can't afford to go to the theater, or whatever. Because some of your productions are free.
Free.
They're not going to be, even
2
when
of
you
the 4.
charge, it's not going to be
Right.
that much. So I just think the fact that you're getting, hopefully, going to get people out into the theater. I think anybody that can get to the theater,
Right.
if you can get them in there, it's important for them to get to
Right.
know theater, because I'm always surprised when somebody say, I've never been to a play. And
Right.
I think, and it's one of the most exciting
Well,
things
well,
to do a
live theater is
performance.
expensive. It's an expensive proposition.
It
Of
is.
course, we have Oldcastle here, which is a professional equity theater,
And equity mean that's why it's so expensive.
right,
Right.
and that costs money. To me, kind of my analogy is like, we might be maybe a little league baseball team compared to, say, the Boston Red Sox. It's going to cost more to go to a Red Sox game. Now, I'm holding out that I think everything we do is going to be of good quality. I don't think people are going to come and see a cheap show of anything we do. And in fact, our mission statement, if I can recite it from memory, is to offer low-cost, high-quality theatrical performances for the community. You just mentioned that. And to provide opportunities for people in the community who wish to pursue their interests in live theater. So this is it's for the community. Not only do we want to give people out there the opportunity, people who have just always thought, I'd like to try to act. I'm thinking like, I want plumbers, I want teachers, I want daycare workers, I want waiters, and I want people out there who just sat and thought, boy, maybe I could try that, to come out and try it. When we say no experience necessary, I mean, obviously you have to be able to act to some degree,
Right.
and memorize lines, hopefully. But we want this to be for everyone. It's not just some small elite group of people that we're doing it because it's fun for us. We want everyone involved.
Right.
And again, you touched on the cost. The tickets for Big Bad Wolf, I'm sure we'll talk about that, start at $5 and go down to nothing.
Okay.
Tickets for the Haunted House are
$5.
$5. Tickets for Arsenic and Old Lace will be $10. So
That's our max.
that's what we're trying to make it as affordable as we can to get people to come watch. I mean, I want people in the audience as well as on stage.
Right. Now, I want to talk to Marina fast because I know we got to get Shay out of here very soon. You're going to be I should explain to the audience, Big Bad Wolf, this show will probably be airing after Big Bad Wolf has had its performance. However, Shay is going to be doing a PSA, which should be appearing soon on Cat TV. So there will be some a little PSA about that show before May 29th.
May
So
29th.
I wish we could. I would like to talk a little bit more about Big Bad Wolf, though. Marina, how did you get involved in it?
Well, just being best friends
Being a
with Shay.
roommate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of roped in. No, I'm just kidding.
right.
I mean, I know you.
Wrong
I've seen
place
you
at the wrong
acting in the
time.
area.
Right. Well, she was just like, "Hey, I'm doing this show," and that's how I was roped into it.
And what are you doing in the Big Bad Wolf?
I play Mama Pig.
Oh, the Mama Pig.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She's
okay.
got the cutest voice when she plays Mama Pig.
Oh, yeah,
The
it's
kids are
great.
they're gonna love it.
Okay. Now, where are you going to be doing Big Bad Wolf?
It'll be at the First Baptist Church.
Oh, okay. And I understand the set is going to be something. I'm going to get Shay to talk to me about that because I understand that she's got quite an idea there.
Oh yeah.
Now,
similar
are you
to a
working on
story
that too, the set?
A little bit, yeah.
And the costumes and
Yep.
it's sort of a...
Whenever it's in our house.
Yeah,
Which is quite
okay.
frequently.
Whatever.
I'm like, here, hot glue this.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, now, what were you involved with at the high school?
Most recently, I graduated like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
most recently was The Sound of Music. Before that,
such a good show.
we did our first, I think, at the high school was Hello Dolly.
Yep.
Julius
Oh.
Caesar, Metamorphosis,
Oh, okay.
Romeo and Juliet,
Oh, okay.
Dracula.
I
I was
remember
not in
that.
Dracula. A Midsummer Night's Dream. Played Mustard Seed.
So you've been busy.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, and I saw you at Old Castle in another version of, was it the Big Bad Wolf? Or was that, what did I see you doing at Old Castle? Didn't I see you?
Most
doing it-
recently, I was in Good God Why at Old Castle, which was
Oh,
an
that Good
independent
God, why?
production.
Oh, okay.
And then before that, I think I did an Actors Express
Okay.
called I
okay.
Didn't Know That, and it was just
Oh, I
a bunch
didn't
of
know
really
that.
fun
Okay.
facts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, because I did see that for sure.
Really cute play.
So, how do you feel about this community theater starting up?
Well, I think it's great. I am not an equity actor, and I have kind of a hard time finding opportunities like in our area. I could drive an hour and go to the Berkshires or go to Troy, but it's really nice to be able to bring something like this into my community and share my love of acting and being on stage with other people, and to perhaps be like a role model to younger people
Right,
who
that'd be
would
great.
like to pursue a
Right.
career in acting. I mean, I wouldn't call what I have a career in acting, but I like to think that it will help.
Right, right.
It's actually really, really great because in this show, in Big Bad Wolf, we have a lot of high schoolers in it, which obviously doesn't surprise me because, you know, I work with them so much that, of course, I told them about it and they were very interested in joining us. And it's great because it's awesome having Marina there because she's more mature. And, you know, obviously we're only 22, so we're not, you know, we're far from very mature, but we have this sense of more of being an adult and how you are supposed to take a role and how you're supposed to study your lines. And it's awesome because seeing Marina last week in rehearsal, we work a lot on improv. We love improv, and the teens have been having a little bit of trouble with keeping the story going, finding a beginning, middle, and an end. And last week, Marina just stepped in and was like, all right, this is what we're doing. I'm going to be the narrator. And right on the spot, she made this really funny story.
They were so cute.
And the
yeah.
kids, here I say it again.
Yeah, that's
the
all right.
teens.
You know, the teens, they
Young adults.
You're kids as far as I'm concerned.
they loved it. They were like, Marina, that was awesome. Like, you should do that all the time,
Oh,
and we'll just
geez.
act out what you say. Like, it was awesome. I love having her to be. They were like, oh, okay, and you know, she has a job on top of it too. You know,
Right.
Right. Well, we were kids like that at one point too, and like we had people to look up to too, and it's kind of cool to be in that position too, because I remember being like little scared 14-year-old freshman in like the world of high school, and then
That's true.
the big kids were just always like, they always gave us direction, so
It's
it's
like,
was nice to be able to give direction.
Yeah, it's like Amanda Garcia.
Yeah.
I think to
Oh,
us
Amanda.
is a good example because, you know, she's was a senior when we were freshmen, and you know, seeing her, we always thought she was like so, and like I still do. I love that girl so much. But
love.
one of the most memorable moments of high school for me was being on stage in my first production of Hello Dolly and watching that girl take that stage and walk from the top of those stairs all the way down through the audience in a gold dress.
Wow.
Right, right.
Gave me goosebumps, and I was just like, one day I want to be just like Amanda Garcia. And now, you know, now we're really good friends, and it's so funny to think of, but
Think of her as a role model.
yeah, and so
A few
hopefully
years
we are.
back, like when Jay Sager was a senior, I guess.
Same time.
Okay,
Yeah, same
we did
year.
You Can't Take It With You.
Yeah.
And the theater arts program asked me to come play Grandpa.
I remember.
And
remember
the
that
kids,
The kids.
were so good to me and so polite and so, you know, I just to this day I just am crazy about Jay Sager. I mean, he was so nice to me. They all were. They treated me like, you know, like a kid glove. But
that's
it was a wonderful experience.
Right.
I just had so much fun. Well, before we lose Shay, I know Big Bad Wolf is going to be over and all that stuff, but I just want you to explain,
Yeah, please.
because maybe some people aren't going to get to this and they're going to be sorry that they didn't. But tell us what this set is going to look like.
All right. So, like I mentioned, how I really got into theater is the backstage kind of. That is one of my big passions. So, I decided, you know, with the haunted house, we really did that production on like $100, the haunted house, and it was thrown together by, you know, whatever we could find. But we ended up turning out such a big thing, and so I really got to learn what we had at our disposal to use and what we didn't have, like what was cheap to get, what was not. And really what we did is we used a lot of cardboard for
course.
the haunted house. Yeah, cheap. You know, Mac Molding donated it all to us, like
Sure.
the nice
Wow.
flat ones. They were beautiful. They did it again for this show. But so I was like, all right, so we use a lot of cardboard. Well, we learned a lot about cardboard and what works and what doesn't.
Yep.
Right.
So this show, I was like, all right, we're going to use cardboard again, and we're going to do it the right way.
We're not gonna paint it while it's hanging.
No,
because
yeah.
we're girls.
And we're
It's
not
gonna-
going to paint it with wet
Oh.
paint. That's for sure. It's got to be
wow.
very dry.
Yeah.
But so we've decided we're making trees out of toilet paper and paper towel rolls. We're paper macheing tons of stuff. We have cardboard, which all of these things were donated. All of our paper mache will be done with old banners from the Bennington
We have
Banner.
a third roommate, and he's
Actually,
Oh,
yeah, we
okay.
have a third roommate, and he works at Bennington Banner, which
Oh,
is
well,
funny.
that's handy.
Yeah, it is kind of handy. And so we have those and toilet paper tubes. It's so funny because actually the day I was on the radio with you,
Right.
we talked about the toilet paper tubes,
Right,
and
right.
I got a phone call that day from a woman who works at Porta Brace and was like, hey, I heard you on the radio, and I don't know if you need any toilet paper tubes, but we got really long, tall ones where what fabric's on, and I was
Oh my
like, you know
gosh,
what?
Perfect.
We need all of that.
Yeah.
Right.
And
right.
so it's great because my storage is actually at the Benmont Mill, and that's where Porterbrace's new location is.
okay.
So it's very easy to just put it where it needed to go. But yeah, it's really funny. And what we've done is that if anybody's been in Colgate Hall, they know at First Baptist, they know you walk in and there's the area where the kitchen is, and then there's a wooden wall, and then there's the rest of the hall.
Right.
Well, it's kind of cool because it's already perfectly set up for a backstage. So we're going to set the curtains up, and that's going to be the backstage, and there's a whole entrance for them. And then as the audience enters in the other door, the entire area that's not backstage is going to be the set. So you're going to feel like you're in a pop-up storybook a little bit. We've been painting, and there's going to be like little shrubs. Everything's very colorful as well because kids love color, and I mean I love color because I'm kind of a kid too. But it's going to be very colorful, and actually the seats aren't going to just be lined up normally like straight one after another. We're going to have clusters of them so that it actually creates a maze because the teens in our story and Marina, who's not a kid, and one of our other actors who's 24, which is our oldest actor, which is funny. They are going to be going through the forest on their journey to find these plump pigs for Wolfie's mother. And so we have them in clusters so that everybody gets to enjoy the actors walking right in front of them.
Yep.
So there's none of that, well, they're never going to walk by me because I'm
Right.
dead center,
Right,
you know
right,
what I
right.
mean? So it's going to be really cool. So the kids will be like very excited that the
that's
actors
nice.
will be right next to them.
So, any of our viewers out there, if you didn't get your grandchildren or your children or your nieces and nephews to this, shame on you. and what is the cost going to be for Big Bad Wolf?
There are
Different prices.
Yeah, $5 for general admission for adults, and then for kids 6 to 12, so elementary school, it's $3. And then kids 6 and under, so under 6, I guess, preschoolers are free.
Right.
So that it makes it very affordable to bring the whole family.
Right.
That's
I
great.
know that can get pretty expensive, $5.
Yeah, right.
$5 with 5 people
Right,
is,
right.
it reaches that.
Well, before you leave, I know you've got this whole season coming up, Big Bad Wolf, Sherlock Holmes, the Improv, Haunted House, Arsenic and Old Lace. You're involved with the Haunted House.
Yep.
And the Improv, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Sherlock Holmes?
A little bit,
You
yeah,
doing
actually.
that?
Hopefully she's going to participate.
Yeah,
She
I might
doesn't
be
know
reading.
it yet.
Okay. And Arsenic and Old Lace.
I'm going to be there because a haunted house is going to be the same time,
Right.
which you
so
know
it's
is
going to be a little
It's a week
busy.
later.
woo. So I will be there more as a
Support.
advisor if anybody
right.
who wants to work on costumes or
Yeah.
anything need
Yeah.
anything.
We're
or,
starting to put
or I
that
have
crew
something,
together.
Oh,
you know.
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have Robert and Marina
Yeah.
talk a little bit about other things that are coming up. I asked Marina the same question. What to you is the most important thing about starting this group? Is anything different from what Marina had to say?
Probably not any different, but maybe a little bit more elaborate because I'm coming from, obviously I'm an actor as well. I mean, I haven't acted in quite some time, but I also came from acting, but I'm more from the backstage aspect.
Right.
And I like to direct, which Marina's not really her forte. She likes to be directed.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about it either.
No way, Jose.
I've done it, but I don't.
Yeah, but I love to direct, and
It's a big responsibility.
it is.
Yeah.
And yes, it is. But I think really what I want to get out of it is, like Marina said, she loves Bennington, and I love Bennington. We love Bennington so much. We've lived here our whole lives, and we cannot stand when people say Bennington's a dying town and that people should just leave.
There's
I
nowhere
can't wait
here.
to get out of this.
Yeah.
town.
gosh.
Yeah.
That is probably one of my biggest pet peeves. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot stand that because, it's that kind of attitude that doesn't allow this town to grow.
Right.
And being part of the younger generation, I want to be a role model to the other younger generations to show them, like, it's up to us.
It's what you make it.
Yeah, it's
Right.
up it's up to us to
Exactly
keep
right.
this community going, because if we just say, whatever, and let it go, nothing's going to grow. So
Right.
really what I want out of this community theater is for people to be like, oh, all right, well, I have to work this 9-to-5 job, but at nighttime I can go and be an actress or be a set designer, or I get to escape reality, I guess.
Uh-huh.
That's how I kind of see the show business is that it's your moment to let your creative side come out and just be a creative person. And that's what it is for me, is that I get to use the banner of Bennington Community Theater to produce all these things, all these artistic things that are coming in my mind, and I really want the community to be like, I could paint that board.
Right, sure.
I can run those lights for you. I think that's really what I'd love to just have the community. I love community.
You mentioned 9 to 5 job. Now I know Marina says she has a job at Allegro's.
I'm more 5 to 9.
She's
You're
more
5 to 9.
Yeah,
Do you have a
4 to
9 to
11.
5? Do you have a regular job too? I don't know how you'd have time.
Yeah, I have quite a few jobs actually.
Jeez.
Yeah, obviously I work at the high school for doing all of their productions.
That's right.
It's not a lot of money, obviously,
No, of
because
course
it's
not. No.
it's theater. Theater is not a lot of money unless
No.
you're equity in general.
That's
Not even
right.
if
Well,
you're
even-
equity.
Still
yeah,
not a lot.
Nobody
No
in
one's
theater
getting
gets
rich,
paid a
right.
lot. But I make enough for that, and I also I work at Panache, the clothing
okay.
store at Panache, right down the
Okay,
street. Also
okay.
at Joe Fiel's, which is a hair salon above Panache.
Oh, okay.
I have
It's
my own.
handy that it's both in
Yeah.
the same place.
Yep, I have a studio at the Benmont Mill of my own for makeup artistry. I do a lot of bridal parties and stuff like that. And I also work at Benel as an after-school program, kind of substitute teacher for theater.
This is going to age you. I'm telling you. I mean, man, you make me tired just listening
Good thing
to
she knows how
you.
to dye hair.
Oh,
You'll
Lord.
never have to worry about my grays.
Can you tell them about this, or do you not want to mention?
Yeah, actually, speaking of what we're going to have, as hopefully people will have come and see this.
I hope so.
But before we start our production of Big Bad Wolf, my production that I'm working with the Ben L kids with an adaptation that I wrote myself of the storybook Miss Nelson is Missing, which
Oh,
is one of
okay.
my favorite storybooks
Yes.
as a kid. And it's a really good message basically about, for anybody who doesn't know, about kids who misbehave and how their teacher was very nice, and so she dressed up as a not so nice teacher, and then they realized, wow, Miss Nelson is actually a really nice person, and maybe I shouldn't misbehave so much. So the kids are having a great, really loving it, and so they're going to be opening for us, hopefully.
Oh, that's good.
Hopefully, yeah. I have to get a little bit of more approval from the parents.
Yeah,
I have a
yeah.
permission slip out, but we have to
that's
see, and they'll be opening for us, which will be really cool. Which I'm excited for them to see the community theater, and they're
Sure.
like, "Whoa, maybe one day I could do that," and then
Yeah.
kind of making connections.
That's right.
To the youth, to the teens, to
Yep.
the adults.
Yeah. No,
So,
I think
yeah.
that's great. That's great. I don't know if I know you got to go. Is there anything
Yeah.
else you wanted to get out before you leave today?
I just really want everybody to know that the community theater is for everyone, and I obviously, and Marina, we have experience in theater, but you don't have to have experience to join us. Like
It'll
we
be
have
a
enough
learning experience
we
for
have
people.
enough experience to teach you guys to join us. It's so much fun. Everybody, we actually have one kid who is in our show who's never been in a play before, and
Wow.
he showed up with his girlfriend actually, and I was like, "You like to act?" And he was like, "Well, I've never done it." I was like, "You like to try?" And now he's playing the farmer in our show,
Right.
Oh, good.
and
Yeah.
he actually really likes it, and he's
Good.
like, "This is
Good,
fun,"
good.
and he's so I think that's kind of an example of somebody where like, here you go.
You see, that's one of the things
Right.
I enjoy. I taught third grade for 29 years, and I've
Wow.
seen kids come into the high school, and I never would have dreamed that they'd get involved in acting.
Right.
And they get up there and they surprise me because they were very quiet, or they really stay to themselves. And they get there and they want to be part of the show. I think it's wonderful.
It is wonderful. And actually,
It's
I
wonderful.
I know I have to leave.
I
But
know
of
you
course,
have
I
to
love
go.
to talk about
Don't be
theater,
late.
so
Yeah,
I can't
okay.
stop. But you can't stop the beat. No. I had to.
One of the songs from Hairspray,
Yeah.
by the way.
But I actually just lost my train of thought.
Oh,
So
okay.
You'll remember as soon as you leave.
because I got excited.
See, that's for
so.
old guys
Right.
like me. to
And
lose
see, it's
train of
happening.
thought.
It's happening to me because I do so much.
Already.
That my
That's right.
brain-
I think that's it. So, well, I want to thank you for
Yeah.
being here,
Yeah,
Shay.
Thank you so much.
And hopefully, I will get to see the Big Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
I hope you
I'm
come.
hoping
yeah.
to be there. So
Or I
thank
hope
you
you
so
came.
much, and break a leg.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Okay,
Thanks, Shay.
so
Bye.
Bye.
yeah, bye bye, ta ta, and as they say. So, all right, we're gonna lose Shay, but that's all right because we
That's
still
all
got
right.
plenty to talk about here.
Great.
All right, Big Bad Wolf. Now, we're pretty sure we'll get this show on the air before Sherlock Holmes starts.
I hope that's
And,
June
Yeah,
20th.
we're just doing a little rearranging here
Yeah,
while
I'm
we
gonna
get
spread
ready.
out a little bit here, if
Yes,
that's
yes,
all right.
yes. Sherlock Holmes, and now what's the date for that?
June 20th.
That's the 20th.
Yes.
Okay. And that's going to be a reading of different
Yeah.
scenes from Sherlock
No,
Holmes?
what we're
or-
going to do is 2 stories. One, we did this, when was it? In 2010. Again, Sally Sugarman. She put together this thing that ended up being called the Season of Mystery.
Okay.
Back in 2010, which is hard to believe is half a decade ago.
Oh my goodness.
We
It
had
is
just
hard.
moved here. And so what we did was we did a series of Sherlock, and this was, there's, believe it or not, there's Sherlock Holmes clubs.
Oh, I know.
It never
The-
occurred
fan
to
club?
It
Sally-
never
Sally
occurred to
Sugarman.
me, yeah, that people who love Sherlock Holmes, they actually form clubs. I had no idea.
Oh, they're all over
They're all over the world.
They really love
Yeah,
Sherlock Holmes.
yeah, they really do. They're kind, well, they're a good group. And
Fanatics.
so, as part of that Season of Mystery, we produced a series of Sherlock Holmes readings on the veranda at Park McCullough.
McCullough, right.
We did them every 2 weeks for 12 weeks throughout the summer. And what we did each time was, first we would have a very short kind of featurette, a story or a play not written by Conan Doyle, but just to show people, because millions of people have written more stories, plays, movies. I mean, there are movies out now. To give people a little taste of other things that people have done with the characters. And then we would do a full, faithful reading of a Sherlock Holmes story, picked from the stories. And I don't know if you've ever heard
Was
of...
this abridged? I mean, some of
No,
the stories
this was
were, you'd read
word
the
for
whole-
word what Conan Doyle wrote. And so
Okay.
what we would do... I don't know if you've ever heard of a program on NPR called Selected Shorts.
Uh-huh.
And I think generally they have one person sit down on a stage and read a story, which is nice. But what we did is we would take the story, render it into script form, and then get people to play each character in the story. And kind of the main difference, main change we had to make to that was because most of the stories, Dr. Watson writes the story. So he narrates the whole story, but he also has dialogue within the story. So we separated those two. We created a narrator and then the Watson character, because we thought it would be too much for one person to read all of it. So anyway, as part of the celebration of the 25th year of the Baker Street Breakfast Club, which
Right.
is the Sherlock Holmes Club, Sally is got a bunch of us together to plan to do some events. So I said, well, I'll produce another reading if you'd like of Sherlock Holmes. And so, okay, so that was already set. And then, like I say, when I met Shay and saw what she wanted to do, and I said, okay, well, she's got a couple of things
Right,
here, and we're going to do
incorporate.
a big play in October, and we're doing this Sherlock Holmes reading. We're putting everything under the
Sure.
banner of Bennington Community
Yeah,
Theater, and it's all
yeah.
on our webpage, BenningtonCommunityTheater.com, by the way. I don't know what camera to look at. BenningtonCommunityTheater.com. So anyway, so that's what it's going to be. We're going to do the story, the full-length Conan Doyle story is called The Red-Headed League,
Okay.
and the short feature is called The Retired Cavalry Captain by Bob Sugarman.
Oh,
If you
okay.
know Bob Sugarman.
Oh, yeah.
Every year he writes a little Sherlock Holmes play
Oh, okay.
at Christmas, and
Okay.
they all get together,
All right.
and we all sit around and we read it. And that's what actually gave me the whole idea for this, was watching this group just read cold. Just, he'd pass out the scripts, and he'd say, you're this part, and we'd read it. And that's what kind of gave me the idea. So that's what the Sherlock Holmes is.
Now, were you a big Sherlock Holmes fan before you joined?
Yes.
You were.
I've loved the stories. I've
Oh,
read them
okay.
for years. It never occurred to me that anyone would form a club. I had no concept until I moved here and came across this club.
So where will
And
this
they're
reading
everywhere.
take place?
This reading will be at the Bennington Free Library
Okay.
in the Rotary Room upstairs.
Yeah, that's a big room. Okay.
It's a big room. June 20th. Oh, I'm tapping on the table. He's about to tell me to stop tapping on the table.
No, I
a
don't
bit.
think so.
Yeah, no, he did. He just
Oh,
said
did he?
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm doing
Okay,
this.
I know.
Um,
I'm being pretty good for a
At
change.
1 o'clock, June 20th, and that is free and open to the public. We'll have some free lemonade. We'll have fabulous door prizes. Oh, yeah, we got everything. It's a big deal.
That's
and
great.
So, that's a dramatic reading. So
Right.
there aren't sets. We don't move around the
right.
stage.
You don't need
And
to-
everyone
right.
has their script.
Requires a lot of
Uh,
imagination.
Right.
But yeah,
right.
and so what I do is, I've got all the people lined up, and I send out the scripts. Now the long one, the Red-Headed League, I tell everyone what their role is. They all know that. For the short one, I don't assign the roles until people show up. So I hand you a script and I said, you're gonna be Sherlock Holmes. You're gonna be Dr. Watson.
Right.
And I won't tell them until they get there for the short one. Adds a little dynamic tension to the whole thing. I'm doing it again. I'm pounding on the table.
Well,
I don't mean to just-
I know. I
So-
always. And another thing I like to do is sort of straighten
Is-
out
is
the cloth,
kinda-
and I'm not going
right,
to try
so
not to do that today.
Sweep the little people off the table.
All right. So this
that's
should
that.
get on the air before that. Now
hope.
are you part of the reading? Of the Sherlock Holmes?
I'll probably go. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. You might be. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Now,
I'll
are
be
you
there.
going to take place in the improv?
Oh,
That's gonna
yeah.
Go?
I'm sure
Okay.
of that.
I'm sure. Now, when is that happening?
In July.
In July? Do you have a date yet?
I think it'll be.
The whole month? I
Yeah,
thought it was going to be
every
like once a
weekend.
week.
Yeah.
Oh, once a week.
Once
oh,
a week
okay,
throughout
great.
the month of July.
Oh, okay.
And the location on that has changed a couple of times. Now, right now, I don't know the address. There's an empty lot on Main Street.
Oh, next to Shafts?
to Shafts,
Or
yeah.
the-
Shafts.
Okay, the
Right
old
there.
Heart lot.
And Fidel Marino has a big teepee set up there.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's got, Shane knows more about, I don't know if you know his background much, Fidel.
I don't, unfortunately. He's
Well,
a great
I know-
guy.
I know.
And he does work, I think, at Ben L as well.
Yeah,
or-
yeah,
or-
And he
him and
used
Shay
to
are
do
part
a
of the
show at WBTN.
on BTN called Good Medicine.
Good
for a long
Medicine,
time.
and I know he puts on. I think he's a part of the
powwows. The powwows.
Yeah.
meetings.
I think
Right.
he is the
Right.
powwow.
Right.
So he's got a bunch of events planned for the summer for kids.
Okay.
And so Shay, and then under the banner of Bennington Community Theater, is going to be doing improv.
Oh, okay.
She's got big plans. I think
Oh,
she
it's
wants
so
to
much
line up
fun.
live music and
Yeah.
all that. So that should be a lot of fun.
Okay.
And
great,
that, of
great.
course, is all free. I mean, it's
Uh-huh.
just come in and
Right,
and
and
enjoy it.
yeah, and that's all age levels.
Yep.
Oh,
All
yeah,
age, kids, adults, whatever.
Everybody.
But you don't have dates. Just one day a week during the.
I don't know if she's picked the day of
I
the
don't
week.
think it's decided yet.
Yeah,
No.
right.
What is? Are they still this summer doing? Every Friday. There's
The first Friday.
Yeah, the first Fridays of the month, or
I would
something like
assume
that.
I think BBC still does first Fridays,
Yeah.
right?
I didn't know if
And,
you were getting in on that. Okay, so that's in July. Now, Shay touched on the haunted house,
Right.
Right.
which she had done before, was very successful. And what
Yes.
was the cause last year? Was what?
All of the proceeds go towards the Bennington Cancer Crusaders.
All right,
Right.
and that's the same this year.
Yes, and last year I think she raised over $800. Her and her crew raised over $800
Okay.
to go
Great.
straight towards
Right.
cancer research. It was really an amazing show.
And so Bennington Community Theater just sort of started being a part of this too.
Well,
or
again,
how-
I say when I got together with Shay the first time and we talked about these different projects, we decided let's just put the banner of Bennington
umbrella.
Community Theater over all of these.
Right.
So anything, she took the poster with her for
Yeah.
Big Bad Wolf. At the very top, it says Bennington Community Theater presents. And so we have a webpage, BenningtonCommunityTheater.com, and we have all of our events listed there and all the information. One thing I'd like to mention with Big Bad Wolf, shouldn't touch on, we did have auditions for that. Now, it's brand new, so I don't know if we got a whole lot of turnout, and I think, everyone's been involved with stuff. You're always having to go out and find
Shay wrote
someone.
it.
Well,
Yes,
she wrote
we
it.
did.
But we did have auditions. I don't know what her plans are for the improv, if she's
I think
doing auditions for that or just...
I think there will be a meeting beforehand, and then it really will be probably we'll congregate an hour
Yeah,
or so before,
right.
and then make a plan,
Yeah,
and then go from there.
and just do
I
it.
think it's
Right.
gonna truly be really improv.
Have you
Yeah.
spoken to Chris Decker, because she's the queen of improv?
Right.
Not about this. I know her a little bit,
yeah,
and
you'll have to.
Right.
Yeah, you have
She's
to talk to her.
around.
She'll help you out with that, I'm
Oh, geez.
sure.
And like I say, she's going to direct Arsenic and Olays, and of course we'll have auditions for that, and that information will all be posted on the webpage.
Right. Now the
as
haunted house
well.
is going to be what I know it's not Halloween weekend.
It's the weekend
It's
before.
the weekend before,
Right.
which I think coincides with Fallapalooza.
Oh, okay.
BBC. I was hoping they were going
Okay.
to do it on Thanksgiving when we're doing the big show, but so we might. And actually, I think that's going to be. What she's talking about, maybe Camelot.
Yeah,
Village.
maybe Camelot Village because
Yeah.
she knows people.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but
she, I
hasn't-
think she
that
mentioned it on
hasn't
the
been-
radio
that hasn't
when
been
we
said
did the
yet.
radio show. Yeah, I think she mentioned
Right.
that. Now you mentioned auditioning. Now
Yeah.
Arsenic and Olays, that's a pretty big cast. I
14
love the
people.
role of the guy who thinks he's Teddy
Yeah,
Roosevelt.
right.
I always wanted to do that one. I never had the chance to do it.
Come on out, man.
On
need-
equity, I can't do it. I'm not allowed to.
Equity is not allowed to do.
No,
community?
Chris Decker can direct because she's not in the
Right.
directors union.
Okay.
But actors
Oh.
can't, can't do the community stuff.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's
But
too bad.
you're talking about auditioning. Now, I know when Oldcastle is doing Actors Express,
Right.
it's hard to get people, young people
Right.
who aren't working.
It is.
Their schedules, it's hard to get that together. Now, are you going to be looking for a young cast or for people who are the age of the characters in the show? Are you going to be
Yes.
looking
Both.
both? Okay.
I've got to say, this is all brand new to me, so
That's a-
I
that's-
don't really have any good
That's
answers.
a big show.
It's a big show. We've got, again, Christine Decker on board to direct.
She'll be
That's
wonderful.
99% of
Yeah.
the weight off my shoulders.
She'll be wonderful.
We've also got
great.
Oldcastle's lighting guy, Matthew
Matthew Bush.
Bush. He's going to
Yep,
do the
he's my
lighting.
godchild.
Right
for
on
us.
that, yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
my godchild.
So, kind of, some of the main things I wanted it to be in a real theater. I really wanted it to be in Oldcastle. It's not an Oldcastle production.
No.
We're renting the
Right,
theater
right.
from Oldcastle.
Right.
But I wanted it there. I wanted it to be a real theater because I want the experience to be as kind of as rich as I can make it for the performers and for the audience. And that to me means a real theater. So, and we've got Christine on board for that. So for the auditions, I don't know. You put on the show with what you've got.
That's right. You're going.
And,
Yeah, community theater.
I guess
you
that's
will-
why they may make makeup and wigs and stuff. If you can get age appropriate people, great. If not, you go,
Right.
you find what you can. In fact, I know Christine's already trying to think in terms of what characters in Arsenic and Old Lace that are men could be made into women, because it takes, we need 11 men and 3 women,
That's
and
a
we
big
actually
cast.
we wanted it more balanced than that gender wise. We decided to go with Arsenic and Old Lace, which I think is a good choice, but it's 11 to 3 men to women, so some of the characters could simply be made
Sure.
women. There's police officers, they don't have to be
Right,
men, I
right,
don't think.
right.
And what did we see? We saw a production up at Dorset. This is my favorite example. Watson. It was about Watson and Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
And at least in the one we saw, Sigmund Freud was played by a woman.
Okay.
Now, she wasn't Mrs. Freud. She was
Right.
just Sigmund Freud. She was just in men's clothes. And I think you can do that. I don't
Well,
know.
that was a problem.
These decisions would be up to Christine.
That was a problem at the high school and the theater
Sure.
arts
Always,
program at
yeah.
CDC because there was almost always more women than men.
Well,
and it was
that
very
what
hard to
Christine
find a
said.
play
Right.
where you would have an even amount or more for
Right.
women and less men.
Well, even
and
with
very
Big
often
Bad
they
Wolf,
had to do that.
with Big Bad Wolf, it's girls are more interested.
Right.
in
Actually,
doing
Wolfie's
this than
played
boys.
by
Wolfie
a
is
young
played
lady.
by a girl.
Okay.
So yeah, it is a challenge, and more so for me because I've never done any of this. But I really, and that's why I'm excited with the approach we're taking of putting all these other events under the same banner, because I'm hoping by, say, September, when we start trying to do a casting call, that people might at least be somewhat familiar
Right.
Right.
with what we're doing. I don't want it to be a matter where I have to go out and fill
beg.
every role. That's not what we're doing. It kind of
Yeah.
defeats the whole purpose.
Right.
I want people out there who think, yeah, I think I'd like to try that, to come
Right.
and try, and we're out. I think audiences for community theater are pretty forgiving. Nobody has to be perfect.
No.
I want everyone to have fun.
Right.
In the audience, on the stage, backstage. If everyone walks away saying that was fun, and if the audience walks away saying that was worth $10,
That looks fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy. So
Are you, Marina? Are you and Shay going out now and trying to get people involved? We're going to be doing this show or that show, and we'd really like you to be a part of this.
Well, yeah.
Thinking about it.
Really, anytime it comes up in conversation, we're always like, well, hey, guess what? We throw in an elbow. Actually, today we were hanging up posters around town, and you'd be surprised at how many people I wound up explaining Bennington Community Theater
Right.
to.
Oh, that's great.
And they were like, wow, I know so-and-so. They would love to do it. How do I get in touch?
right.
BenningtonCommunityTheater.com.
.com.
.com.
And we're on Facebook too.
What drives me crazy about putting posters up too, because I've put up plenty of
Oh, yeah.
posters in my my time, and you put up a poster, and a week or so later you
something
go
in
by,
front of it.
and that poster has been taken down,
Or
or
covered
it's
up.
been covered up
Mm-hmm.
with somebody else's, and it's always it always burned me up.
It's cutthroat
because
out there.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
It
a
really
hard
is.
world.
And if you put up a bigger poster, like Williamstown Theater Festival, usually it's a bigger poster.
Yeah, it's like
it
a
takes
long
up
one.
a lot of room.
A lot of
so
room, right.
I don't know. It's very hard. It
is,
can
yeah.
be a little.
It's hard to get the
discouraging
word
to put
out.
up posters.
Where was I? What's the school in North Bennington called now? North
Village-
Bennington Village
Village
or something.
School, something.
I took a
can never
poster for Big
remember.
Bad Wolf over there, and I was talking to the woman in the office and just explaining to her what it was, and I said Bennington Community Theater. She said, "Oh, I've never heard of that."
Yeah, well.
Well, I don't mean to characterize the way she said it.
No,
My
no,
voice
I know,
sounded, different just then. But it's hard to get the word out. The three of us, we were on BTN this morning,
Right.
on Theater Talk. Shay and I have been on BTN 2 other times. She and I have been going around since February to different boards around town, including the CAT TV board.
Yes, you were
I
here
kind
at
of
our
thought,
last meeting.
a way to get the word out would be to talk to community leaders. And then
Right.
I thought, well, people who are on boards
Right.
are by definition community leaders. We've talked to BBC, the Chamber, the Choral Society, BCIC last week. They were a real nice group. BTN. So we've just been getting out there trying to spread the word. But then
Right.
every time you talk to someone about it, they say, well, gee, I've never heard of that. It's hard. It's hard to get the word out.
And it's
Right.
also kind of like when people think that they've never heard of something, they're like, oh, like
Right.
can't be a big deal. But no,
Right.
you haven't heard of it because it's new and it's exciting
Right.
and it
So
is
no.
exciting.
Right.
Again, that's why we're trying to put all of this stuff under the banner of Bennington Community Theater. It in itself is a way to get the word
Exactly.
out about what we're doing.
Right.
You have to start doing something. So
Right.
we're starting.
You just have to do it.
And
Right, just
Arsenic
have
and
to do it.
Olace, the dates?
That will be
It's Halloween weekend. right?
Halloween weekend, either the I think it's the 29th and the 30th. Friday the
Halloween's on
29th
us,
and
right.
the 30th.
Now, you said $10. Is that
$10.
straight?
I haven't tried to come up with any pricing schemes other than $10.
Okay.
Now, what we're hoping to do, is the haunted house is to benefit the Bennington
The cancer, right.
Crusaders. The proceeds from the ticket sales from Arsenic and Olace are going to benefit Bennington Free Library.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And
neat.
That's nice.
and my hope is, anybody out there listening, is to raise the money for the cost of production through what we're calling business sponsorships.
Yes.
Okay.
That probably in June I'm going to go out and start pounding the pavement,
Okay.
literally just going up to businesses and trying to explain what we're doing. And if I can cover the cost of production through that fundraising, then the money we bring in from the ticket sales goes to Bennington Free Library.
Okay.
I've guaranteed them $1,000. So if I don't sell a single ticket, I got to take out my checkbook and write Lynn a check
But you are
for
taking up
$1,000.
collections now.
We
and
have
stuff.
raised $1,000 through what we're calling Friends of Bennington Community Theater. We
Okay.
asked for a $50 contribution to be a friend. We would take anything from anyone.
Right.
And then my plan with the business sponsorship is to go out and hit businesses up for $100. Just up. I say just $100
Right.
is a lot of money. I don't mean to discount it, but to go out and my first wave of that is I want to go out to kind of like a different group of businesses than you usually see. I want to go out to like our manufacturing businesses in town.
Local businesses get
right.
hit all the time.
Well,
for
the
bingos
retailers,
and school
yeah,
things. And,
the retailers, the restaurants, the
Yeah.
insurance
They get hit up all the
agents, the
time.
banks. I want to go out and try to reach out to a different type of business for a couple of reasons. One, they rarely get asked,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a lot of them would like to be more involved in things. But these are not the type of businesses that would like directly benefit from having a little ad in the program.
Yeah, I was wondering if you're going to do a
They're not
program
going to
with ads.
sell more of
Right.
National Hanger Company is not going to sell another 10,000 hangers
Exactly.
because but also, my personal belief, I think Bennington's manufacturers are our best ambassadors to the world because every
Sure.
time they ship something out, they're telling the entire world what we can do here in Bennington. It's
Exactly.
like we were talking
Port-au-Brace.
about the Port-au-Brace,
Oh, Port-au-Brace.
the
They're
type of
amazing.
town
They're
we are.
great.
There is so much going on.
Right.
So I want to encourage that. And then third, these kind of businesses, we'll have hopefully people who might be interested in helping
Exactly.
with set construction, that kind of thing, or acting.
And think about how much of our community actually is factory workers. People
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Average
Right.
Benningtonians. These are the people I want to come to see it.
Right.
These are the people I want to come be in it. These are the people I want to help create the sets. And then if nothing else, if they let me put a poster up in their break room, so I'm going to start that probably in June. And I don't know how to do it. I'm not a good fundraiser. I'm just going to go out, start pounding the pavement, walk up, say, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. Would you give us $100 to do this? And see what they say.
All right. Well, I
You
just
know.
got the sign from Ryan that we're going to have to close up
Oh,
shop.
is that what that
Timing,
was?
I have to work
I
soon.
thought he was pointing. I thought he was
No,
telling me
no,
just
4
pound the
minutes. We got
table.
about 4 minutes. There was one thing I was going to ask though before it went right out of my head. So all right, so you got your season more or less planned. Now,
Yeah.
are you thinking ahead to what you might be thinking about for another season? Are you
Well,
I see Marina.
I'm
sort
sure
of-
Shay
maybe.
has plans.
Shay
for
has-
I'm
next
sure Shay
10
Her
has-
brain is working. She would really like to do a musical.
Right.
Oy.
Uh,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
musical.
And I've got ideas personally what I would would love to do here and there.
Right.
But the main thing is what we're trying to do. We're not just trying to do something this year. We're trying to make this a real thing. I don't know if I had mentioned. We're a registered business with the Secretary of State's
You're right,
office
you
in
hadn't.
Vermont. Did I say all
No,
this
not yet.
already?
You told me on the radio,
We got an
not here.
employer identification number from the IRS. With all of that, we opened a business checking account at the Bank of Bennington in the name of Bennington Community Theater. So if you write us a check to support us, that's who you make it out to. You don't make it out to me. You don't make it out to Shay. So we have a business checking account. We have a post office box 746 in Bennington. BenningtonCommunityTheater.com. We're insured. We have an insurance policy. We're not running this out of the trunk of a car. We're trying to set this up as a real entity right from the start so people can have faith and confidence in what we're doing. And then the ultimate goal is after this season, if people find value in it, we can put a board together and,
Right.
and into perpetuity.
Perpetuity. I like that word.
Yeah, so do I.
Remind
I
me to
rarely
give
get
you a
to use
check
it.
before
That's
you
a good
leave.
one.
Oh, yeah,
I want to
like
give you a
that
check
one.
before you
Oh
leave.
my goodness! You
uh,
you heard him say that.
Yeah, no, I will.
I don't know which camera to look
before, I know we got to go quickly, but tell them about you. When is your show on WBTN?
My
Yeah, your
personal
own personal show that
news
you do.
and view. No, I'm not here to talk about.
Oh, well, anyways, you can
But
listen.
weren't
listen
you
to
on the
Bob-
weren't you on the morning show on BTN a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, I was.
With that handsome substitute host they had.
You.
Oh, was that me?
You have to. Well, anyways, Robert does have a show on WBTN.
Has
So
nothing to do
look
with
it up
theater.
from the schedule in the
Has
banner.
nothing
So
to do with theater.
You're
I
so
wanna-
mad.
I need to thank Shay Francis for being
Yes.
here, and Robert Ebert,
Yes.
and Marina Calvo,
Yes.
and my fingers are crossed that the
Yay.
Bennington Community Theater will be a big success. Sure it will. So
Couldn't cross it
thank
more.
you, and
Thank you
we
so
shall
much.
hopefully see you another time to
Yay.
talk about shows.
Thank
All
you,
right.
William.
And to our viewers, thank you so much for paying attention, and we'll have a new show for you in another couple weeks. So thanks and
Take
good.
a long look around, I have to say, this time of year, it becomes clear, those you hold dear, you draw them near, this time of day,